So my name is Robert Heinecke. I'm one of the founders and the CEO of Breeze Technologies. We are a Hamburg-based startup that helps businesses and cities to monitor and to improve air quality. We develop and deploy lower-cost air quality sensors, and what we have done is actually move all the complexity from traditional air quality sensing from the individual piece of hardware to the cloud. And that means that we can make our sensors 50,000 times smaller and 1,000 times cheaper, which then enables us to deploy much more of them. And by bringing all this data together in a central cloud platform, we can actually also power other business applications for air quality data. Back in 2014, I was living and working in Istanbul, and that was in winter, and Istanbul in winter has a lot of problems with air pollution. Some parts of my stay there, I could barely see the other side of the street anymore, and this really shocked me. And digging deeper into the topic, I saw that cities today rely on technology that has been developed in the 60s and 70s. And this was shocking for me, and I wanted to change that. I wanted to bring cities and their tools into the 21st century and enable them to actually do something about air pollution. As part of the UrbanTech program, we are working with VELUX and COWI, and what we do for them is bringing together data from the government, data from public monitoring stations, with data from sensors that we have deployed, and with other sources like satellite data. And basically we are providing them with an air quality model for, let's say, Copenhagen, and they can use that to make their product smarter, like for instance automatically opening windows and thereby providing a better comfort and climate for the residents in houses, or informing their consulting projects, for instance in the case of COWI, and basically delivering better insights to their customers.
In this project with the Breeze Technology and COWI, VELUX is trying to set up a monitoring system where we will monitor the outdoor environment as well as the indoor environment and see if that adds to the benefit of the users. One of the reasons why we chose this area or this part of town is that this type of housing typology is actually often found in bigger cities throughout Europe, in Brussels, Paris, London, other places in Copenhagen. So this is representing an area where you have homes in city centers. So how is the connection with the indoor climate and the outdoor climate? We know that there can be problems with especially pollution from traffic.
I'm in this experiment because I think it's quite interesting to know all the invisible factors in a home. And I think we are slowly changing this house, putting in new windows and opening up the floors. And I think it's quite interesting also to know if we should change our behavior or we should change some factors also related to the indoor climate.
We're experienced in the design of cities and using the sort of the latest techniques and the latest technologies and latest sort of approaches. But what we're exploring is whether or not we can have a little bit more data-driven methodology in our design. Can we take latest data or maybe even real-time data and put that into the thoughts about a refurbishment or into a development of a large construction area, urban development zone, or just a small sort of building site that happens to be co-located to different cities that have different sort of functions, and to make sure that a design here doesn't upset a design for the adjacent areas, so that it's all sort of coherent together.
What would be the most interesting result is actually if we can show that by opening and closing windows automatically based on current air quality data, you achieve a better indoor climate than if people did that manually or if people just did that based on the interior CO2 concentration. Air pollution is the greatest environmental health threat of our time. More than 7 million people die every year because of air pollution. And still in developed nations like Denmark, like Germany, you don't necessarily see it. So we want to come to a point where we can tell you what the air quality looks like and is going to look like for every point on the Earth. And with that, we are enabling a fully new host of applications. Imagine a city that routes traffic based on current air quality data so they can keep to the regulatory limits. Or imagine windows that are opening and closing themselves based on current outdoor air quality to protect the people in the house.